I like to I like docks and dock sides and that sort of thing. So I've always been a bit frustrated by the limits to what's available in Trainz on Dockside material, very modern usually. So I've created a series of warehouses to use not just in dockside situations but anywhere really where you'd like a big warehouse, and I've made them buildable. So this is the spline for my imaginatively named warehouse number 1 or version 1, and here's version 2. I'll do it over here. Not a lot of difference you might think, but there is a difference in the colour of the brickwork, and even more so with my number 3 warehouse, which has got this lighter brickwork. Okay, so you think, well, that's not bad. Major problem, of course, is no ends, and it's all pretty boring. So, of course, I'm not going to leave it like that. If I come up to here and into ordinary object mode, as opposed to the spline mode, and I've got a whole selection of things here. SF warehouse 1 end, so, and you can see here warehouse 2 end, and so on, warehouse, so they fit with these. So these splines are just part of the story. So first of all, let's bring in an end. I'll add an end, and I need to rotate that, bring it round 90 degrees, and you can see here what I'm then going to do is I'm going to join it up. Join. It does join. Trust me. Why isn't it joining? No, that's joined. There we are. And now I'm going to bring in, for warehouse 1, I'm going to bring in what I've called a gable section. Again, I should rotate this 90 degrees. 90. And let's join our spline up to that. There we are. And what do we get with our gable? Well, we get different windows. We get a doorway down the bottom there, you can make it out, and we get a cross gable with some what's that called now? There's a name for that. Anyway, there's a hanging crane there. So let's go back to our spline and put another section of warehouse in, join it up. Not sure if you can actually straighten these. Apparently not. So you have to just straighten them yourself, just make them so they're not daft. And you can see here they're just massive. The idea is just massive, loads and loads and loads of gable. So it's hatches. Let's try the hatches one. Let's stick the warehouse 1 with windows as well, and 1 with cranes over there as well, and I'm going to rotate them all in a minute. So I've got 4 different bits that you can install and add on, mix and match with your warehouse, so that you can have a nice long warehouse if you want. Is that connected up? This is this buildable type kind in Trainz, and I found that there we are. You have to move the spline to go to the object, and this one, well, you've got doors again down the bottom here. That's clear enough. Let's have a go around the other side, see if it's clearer. Yeah, a bit clearer. And you've got a gibbet crane, which is quite nice to have. And what else can you do? Well, that's while we've got, while we're in splines, I'm just going to delete these two, get these out of the way. I'm sort of zooming around here like a crazy thing. And so there we are, we're already getting quite a size. And of course you could repeat these like the gables if you wanted a series of them. Let's put another little bit in, and connect it up. There we are. Just got to position, straighten that up. I tend to use the grid, straighten things up. And then what else have we got to play with? Well, we've got this one here, which is quite a nice one. I call this one with cranes. You know, there's a point when you're making these things when your imagination, you know, or your inventiveness on names it gets a little bit taxed. And let's just connect that spline up. All I'm doing actually is I'm just seeing when the roof joins, and then it's going to click together. And we'll put another little bit in. And then let's put this one in. So this one I've imaginatively called, I forget now what this one is, windows. It's just some little windows instead of the big ones. Just for a bit of variety really. And there we go, let's click together. And you're beginning to get the idea, look, that's a massive great warehouse. Obviously it's all a bit odd because anybody who designed the warehouses, you know, probably have those cross gables along here as well, and wouldn't have all this variation with the these are downpipes, these are gutters. So you probably wouldn't have had that length of warehouse between gutters. As they didn't mind the poor old workers getting wet, which I'm sure was the case. And we want warehouse one end. I'm not sure if this will just click together like the onto the other bit. What is it, 270, isn't it, the other way? And let's have a look. No, you've got a bit of spline in there. No big deal. Where are we? Bit of spline connected up. There we are. Let's just move that so it's not so wonky. So let's get down. Oh, no, that's a bit wonky, isn't it? Oh, that's still not right, but anyway, this will give you the idea. So now if we zoom in down it, that to me that looks more like what a warehouse should look like. Really tall, really imposing, and really low on polys. As you can see, it's all hollow, and gives you plenty of opportunity, plenty of variety to move stuff about. And let's close that up a bit. And if we want to position it just right on the grid or wherever, it's not difficult. I'm moving the objects, not the splines. The splines are just following on. So I did do a pier, a promenade pier from about the 1880s, not one of the pleasure piers of the early 20th century. And so this is using the same buildable technique. It allows you to create some really big buildings, and then another one the other side, and then the dock and the ships and railway lines. Let's stick a railway line in. What have we got? Oh, that's broad gauge, that's no good. That's my broad gauge. What have we got up here? Rails only. Well, of course it would be rails only, because you'd be putting, let's have a, hang on, what you could do. Not sure if I've got cobbles on here. Cobbles, UK cobbles 7, let's have a look at that. Oh, they're massive, aren't they? Take those down. Scale them right down. No, they're still too big. Let's try those UK cobbles 4, that's better. Yeah, it's still very big, I think, compared to the door. Let's have a look. No, those are nice. Those are nice. So we put a load of cobbles in, and I know there's a sort of repeat look about them, and then let's have some rails only. stick in a, well, we can't use those are 3-foot gauge rail cars. We've got any GWR, plain wagons. Yeah, let's stick in a few wagons. Later livery. Waiting to be loaded up. Got any locos? Sure, yeah, Grizzly. 14XX, one of my favourites. My ringtone is a 14XX whistle from Didcot. There we are. So there's a, probably a bit too far away from the docks, but then you can bring in other things. Trying to think what I've got in the way of 3-ton yard crane. I thought that was sort of like a gibbet crane or something there. Loads of County Donegal Railway stuff. Coon gibbet, and that's an actual gibbet for a body. Forget now who asked me to do that. And loads of crossing. Derrick crane, there you are, good old Derrick. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, look, there we are. Probably not the sort of thing you'd necessarily have in a docks, but you know, any port in a storm. And then you just fill it up with loads of packing cases and sacks and all the rest of it. Maybe you can add a platform in there if you want to, you know, with steps at each end. I might even do that, add that to a further one. And remember, you can do these in different colours, those 3 different versions I showed you. So hopefully, all in all, that's going to be a real addition to your layout. What you'll notice is there are no chimneys. There's no, maybe there's offices, but as far as I could see there weren't any chimneys. They would tend to be separate little boffies or whatever. But you can have tons of fun with this, I think. And as I say, I really enjoy having dock layouts. I can't do that because the loco's there. But you know, tons of fun, hours of innocent enjoyment. I think there's nothing like a nice dock layout. I don't know if this will just link up. No, it won't because of the loco. So let's lose the rolling stock a minute. Nice to have had you. And I mean, obviously this is far too wide here, I think, because that's the thing about these dock layouts. They were always very constrained, very tight little curves, small locomotives, and pugs and that sort of thing. They'll be ideal for this. But you get the idea. So hopefully that will be of interest, and you can download it, of course, from my website as usual, and have fun and give me feedback and put a thumbs up if you think a video is okay, and subscribe to my channel, which always gives me a boost.